All right, everybody, so welcome back to another episode of Colton Posey Fishing. So today we're going to be going over those top 4 December finesse baits that I really like to run for just about any situation. But either way, stay tuned. It's something you don't want to miss. All right, so first off, I just want to say, if the video helps you at all, make sure to like. It helps me out a whole lot. Also, subscribe. I'm always putting out stuff when it comes to bass fishing. Also, comment down below if you have any questions, anything to add, or you just want to talk fishing. I love hearing from you guys. So jumping into it, let's talk about the first one. So this is one of the big key factors for me, especially throughout winter. I mean, just the entire winter, really, and that's a swim bait. This is going to be that small swim bait. This is the 3/8 ounce Smalley Smasher. And everything, as always, will be linked down in the description. You can just click on it. It'll carry you straight to Tackle Warehouse or wherever to order it. The 3/8 ounce Smalley Smasher has been my go-to for years. That light wire hook, it's just got a real good, it's just really good swim bait head, in my opinion. You know, it's got the eyes on it. Most of the time, the stuff you're going to be running doesn't have the eyes, but either way, you know, 7-foot medium moderate action rod, that's going to be one of the biggest key details. I'm making a super long cast, but you know, I want that give in the rod, okay? Because a lot of times these fish, they're going to come straight up. When they come straight up, you don't want them throwing your bait. You want some of that give. I'm throwing 10-pound braided line to 8-pound fluorocarbon, 6:2 to 1 gear ratio, K-line A, 13 fishing reel. This is just like the perfect setup for me personally. Now, the swim bait that I like to throw on that finesse setup, that's the 2.75 inch Rage Swimmer. I like the Rage Swimmer in the colder months. I'm not sponsored by Strike King. I'm just saying I like the Rage Swimmer during the colder months. The ribs are pointing forward, more resistance. You can slow further down and still get a lot of that action out of the bait. But now here's the biggest key detail. Maybe you're throwing that 3/8 ounce and it's getting down there too deep because you're having to really slow down to try and target those fish. You go to a 1/4 ounce, okay? So anything, the 3/8 or the 1/4 ounce, you're kind of going to go in between both of those. But the key detail is, why would I use that bait? I'm typically using that bait to target those fish that are chasing threadfin shad, gizzard shad, anything like that. Usually with the gizzard shad, I'm going to go to the bigger, you know, 3.75 inch. But either way, if they're chasing shad, that's typically the swim bait that I'm going to go to, especially first off. I mean, whether it's slick conditions, whether it's windy, it doesn't really matter. A swim bait is subtle, it's natural looking. It's just a great way to target fish in any depth zone. I can fish it close to the surface. I can fish it in the mid-range. I can fish it on bottom. That's one of the big things that I do a lot. When those fish in the winter position themselves along the bottom, they're belly down on the bottom or maybe just a few inches above the bottom, I can throw that swim bait out there, let it sink, hit bottom, and then just crawl it, tick the rocks, dead grass, whatever may be on bottom, and it typically just triggers a lot of bites. Now, the second one that I want to talk about is one that I'm going to vertical fish. Okay, so you know, maybe I'm on those fish and I can see those fish, they're right below me, you know, or maybe just a few feet in front of me. That's a jigging spoon, okay? And I'm throwing this on a medium heavy action 7-foot rod, 10-pound braided line, 8-pound fluorocarbon, 6:2 to 1 gear ratio, loose speed spin or speed spool. But either way, you want a fast reel. You want a fast reel. I don't know how many times I'd say this. You want a fast reel when it comes to spinning reels, especially using techniques like this. A lot of times they're going to hit that on that drop. You're going to have slack in your line. You need to take that slack up quick. Having that higher gear ratio, you can take up that line a lot faster, okay? But, you know, that jigging spoon is going to be perfect for those fish who may be positioned, you know, in that 30, 40, 50 foot range, sitting you know, in like some brush or something like that, whatever cover may be in your lake, but that deeper range, I can drop that bait straight down to them super quick. Those wolf packs of bass that are cruising around, you know, the points and stuff like that, looking for bait fish, for herring, whatever they may be targeting, you can get this bait on top of them really quick before they get out of sight. So, but this is a 1 ounce, or 1 1/4 ounce, I'm sorry, 1 1/4 ounce. I don't know the name of the company because I didn't get this from a company. I had a friend make this for me, but I've just had good luck with it on Spotted Bass Fisheries. But you know, I use the War Eagles a lot. I'll have all that linked down in the description. But either way, your jigging spoon's perfect for getting down on wolf packs of bass super quick, or trying to get fish to commit from out of treetops or stuff like that. Now, the third one that I want to talk about, this is the Yum Sonar minnow head, and I'm gonna, you know, team it up with that Sonar minnow this time of year, okay? The reason I'm gonna do the Sonar minnow this time of year instead of like that Demiki or something like that, that Yum Sonar minnow is smaller than the Damiki, but it's very, very subtle like the Damiki. That Yum Sonar head, it just teams up with the Sonar minnow perfectly. I mean, it was designed to run together, but either way, this is going to be that perfect bait also for those fish that are stationary suspending, that you need to drop that bait down there too. Now, I do want to say, I don't suggest dropping your baits directly onto fish, because they are getting used to seeing that. Whether you realize it or not, they're getting used to seeing that. Don't drop your baits directly down on top of them, right on their nose. Throw way past them. Okay, throw way past them and then bring that bait to them. Try to mimic where the shad are. You know, if that fish is sitting 15 foot and I throw this bait out there on top of its nose and I drop it down to 15 foot, but all the bait's staying in that 8 to 10 foot range, they're more than likely going to know something's up, okay? Throw past them and then keep that bait in that 8 to 10 foot range like you're strolling it past them, okay? It just makes it look really, really natural. I guarantee you'll get a lot more bites, but that Yum Sonar minnow is going to be a great option, you know, to help target fish that are just suspended hanging out, or fish that are just chasing shad in general, but you need something a little more subtle. Slick, calm conditions, bright blue, sunny days, that's going to be a really good too. But you know, I'm using a moderate extra light action rod. It's super flimsy. Run my drag a little bit tighter, 10 pound, 8 pound, same setup, 6:2 to 1 gear ratio. But you know, that way I can take up that line quick. Super simple setup, super easy to use. Just make sure you're throwing past those fish, and I guarantee you're going to get a lot more bites. Now, the very last one I want to talk about, this is that Underspin. Okay, this is the Fish Head Co. Underspin, throwing the Mayor or the Divine, 6 cents Divine, 1/4 ounce or 3/8 ounce. You know, if I need to keep that bait higher in the water column but speed it up, I'll go to the 3/8 ounce. If I need to keep it high in the water column, slow it down, 1/4 ounce. If I need to get it deep in the water column and slow roll it, it's going to typically be that 3/8 ounce, okay? But you know, 10 pound braided line, 8 pound fluorocarbon, 6'11" medium moderate action rod. This Elite Series by Thunderhawk, it's become one of my favorite spinning rods of all times. K-Line A, 6:2 to 1 gear ratio. Like I said, this is going to be that super simple technique that you can use to target those bass that are chasing those big balls of shad during the winter. It's the closest thing you're probably going to get to the A-rig without using the A-rig. But with that being said, guys, that is my top 4 baits for December. Super simple, straight to the point. If you like this kind of content, make sure to like, subscribe. It helps me out a whole lot. I'm always putting out stuff on bass fishing. Store's open, you can get merchandise, stuff like that. Helps me out also. Make sure to check out my sponsors' links in the descriptions. All this stuff will be linked down in the description. Make sure to click the links to carry you straight there. You can get what you need. Either way, guys, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.